In heart, let us all place our palms together to request Geshe to turn the wheel of Dharma according to the well wishes and capacities of the students. Geshe, kindly give us the teaching. Okay. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of keeping and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of keeping and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Juda Zoge Chonanda Chanchu Bando Dan Age Zoge Be Sonamge Dola Benir Sanje Jubare Sho Sanje Juda Zoge Chonanda Chanchu Bando Dane Yapsuch Age Jinso Gebe Sonamge Dola Benjir Sanje Dubare Jo Sanje Chuda Soge Chonam Kanjo Bando Dane Yapsuche Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Dola Benjir Sanje Dubare Shom Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Eva Vate Mahashramana Yesva Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashramana Yesvaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Eva Vate Mahashramana Yesvaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well is taught by the great seer. Okay, yesterday what we discussed, what were we doing yesterday? Okay, pervasive conditions, suffering. Okay, we're done with that. So from this, the Acharya Dharmakirti, in his text Pramana Vartika, later on, it would be good if we can study Pramana Vartika, the text, Pramanavartika, okay, I don't want to go too much into detail now. Acharya Dharmakirti, what is said is that with respect to the Buddha giving teachings on the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering, the first one. Okay, what are the Four Noble Truths? Anyone? Okay, not the experts. Not the experts. Anyone else? Okay, Tenzin Chispel. Mike? Okay. Our mic lady is not there. Oh. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
So the Buddha says that the Four Noble Truths are, number one is the reality of the suffering, that we should realize that the suffering is real. And the number two, that whatever the suffering is, that have a cause, like a reason behind it. And number three, that suffering can be stopped or it can be ceased. And the fourth truth says that there are noble paths, 8 noble paths, following which we can achieve all the previous three.
Very good. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Follow the noble, then you can achieve the suffering. You can achieve the suffering, truth of suffering, truth of cause of suffering. We can achieve that. The third one is okay. Okay, so let's put it like this. Let us be a little technical. We need to learn the technicalities as well. Okay, but by the way, this is very important. First, just let us know what the Four Noble Truths are. Okay, someone expert, quick. And someone who's expert, Joshua.
The first one is
Okay, Mike.
So the Four Noble Truths, the first one, this is the truth of suffering.
Okay, and the experts view. Just what are the Four Noble Truths? As simple as that.
Первая истина – это истина о страдании. Вторая истина – истина о причинах страдания. Третья истина – истина о прекращении страдания. Четвертая истина – истина о пути прекращения страдания.
The first noble truth is the truth of suffering. The second noble truth is the truth of the cause of suffering. The third noble truth is the truth of the cessation of suffering. And the fourth noble truth is the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering and its causes.
Thank you, Tatiana. Okay, thank you. So what Joshua is going to say will come next. Okay. So what Tatiana said, this is perfect. When you say, what is Four Noble Truths? Just Four Noble Truths. Truth of suffering, truth of cause of suffering, truth of cessation of suffering and its causes, and the truth of path leading to the cessation of suffering, as simple as that. Then when the Buddha actually gave of the three tenets of Dharma, the first one, the Buddha, when they actually gave the teachings on the Four Noble Truths, what was given, of course, is given in great detail, but one which the Joshua said, this now comes here. So for this, I want to be a little technical, meaning that not just always very simple, because there are many who are seniors, and the younger ones also, you have to learn the technicalities. That way you'll feel something to hold on to, the ground to hold on to. So the Four Noble Truths are taught. There's what is known as taught in the form of what is known as the 12 recitations or 12 repetitions. 12 recitations. In Tibetan, Deba Chungi, Gijila, Dada, Despa Chungi, Re, Munire, Despa Chungi, Deba Chungi. Okay, it's fine. Okay. 12 recitation or 12 repetition. And these 12 are split in. These 12 are grouped into 3 groups. These are grouped into 3. Means 4 into 3. 4 into 3, 12. Okay. So there are 3 sets. 3 sets. The first set is the first set of 4 teaching of 4 noble truths, second set of teaching of 4 noble truths, and third set of teaching of 4 noble truths. So the first set is with respect to the identification. The first set of the teaching of 4 noble truths is with respect to identification, the first one. And then what they are is, I'm going to say more. The second set is the teaching of 4 noble truths with respect to the practice. The second set is with respect to the practice. The third set is with respect to the result. The first set is with respect to identification. Second set is with respect to practice. Third set is with respect to the result. Okay, result of the practice. Good. The first set, with respect to the identification. Here the Buddha taught, very simple. Buddha taught the truth, this is the truth of suffering, this is the truth of cause of suffering, this is the truth of the cessation of suffering, and this is the truth of the path leading to the cessation. As simple as that. This is the first set of the teaching on 4 noble truths with respect to identification. So there, the Buddha identifies the 4 noble truths. Simple. The next, what is the next set? With respect to the practice associated with the 4 noble truths. Next set is the set of the teaching on 4 noble truths with respect to the practice associated with the 4 noble truths. So the Buddha taught, okay, now not that everything is so easy as the first one. The others, particularly the second one, you need to have the technicality. You remember the technicality. The Buddha taught, the truth of suffering is to be identified. The truth of suffering is to be identified. Truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned. The truth of cause of suffering is to be abandoned. And the truth of the cessation of suffering is to be actualized. Truth of the cessation of suffering is to be actualized. And the truth of the path leading to the cessation is to be meditated upon. Let me repeat it. The truth of suffering is to be identified. The truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned, and the truth of the cessation of suffering is to be actualized, and the truth of the path leading to the cessation is to be meditated upon. Truth of suffering is to be identified, truth of cause of suffering is to be abandoned, and the truth of cessation of suffering is to be actualize meaning to attain. And finally, the truth of the path leading to cessation is to be meditated upon. Very good. Okay, the next, what is the next? The result, the truth of the teaching of the 4 noble truths, set of teaching of 4 noble truths pertaining to the results associated with the practice of the 4 noble truths. Okay, so here the Buddha taught, although the truth of suffering is to be identified, there's nothing to be identified. Let me repeat it. Although the truth of suffering is to be identified, there is nothing to be identified. Next, although the truth of cause of suffering is to be abandoned, there's nothing to be abandoned. Although the truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned, but there's nothing to be abandoned. Number 3, although the cessation of suffering is to be actualized, there's nothing to be actualized. Although the truth of the cessation is to be actualized, there is nothing to be actualized. And then finally, although the path leading to the cessation is to be meditated upon, there is nothing to be meditated upon. Okay, now the first, with respect to identification, this is the truth of suffering. So there, when the Buddha taught this is the truth of suffering, Acharya Dharmakirti in his text clarified, when the Buddha taught this is truth of suffering, how many truth of sufferings are there? Hey, what about the young people? What happened? 3 or 4. Some say 4. Suffering. 3 or 4. 3. Yes, suffering 3. Right. Okay. So, what are they? Suffering, change, and pervasive conditions suffering. 3. And after 3, when you say renunciation to attain nirvana, we need to have the motivation, the renunciation. For renunciation, say we need to renounce which of the 3 sufferings? The first one, second one, third one, or all? All. You're getting it all, which means that you have to identify the third suffering. If you identify the third suffering, identify the third suffering is possible only if we identify the first and the second. Without identifying the first and the second, it's impossible that we can identify the third. Because the third is the mastermind. Mastermind of what? Mastermind of what lures us. Suffering change. A mastermind of what torments us, what traumatizes us. What is that? Suffering. So it's a mastermind of something. So unless we identify these two things, otherwise we cannot understand the pervasive condition suffering. So in other words, some people, they are fed up with the suffering, which we discussed yesterday. Suffering, there's so much of sickness, aging, death in the family, and quarrels, fights happening, and what is that? Sometimes financially heavy debt, and then what? No peace. So this is what is happening, and then the children creating problem on the parents. Parents creating problems on the children is much less in comparison with children creating problems on the parents. This is so there. Then some people say, I want to leave everything. I want to let everything go somewhere where nobody can, I want to renounce. This is not renunciation. This is escapism. The next, suffering change. So those people who see that mundane happiness is suffering, so these people, they are drawn inward into inward meditation. But inward meditation, experience of lightness, experience of the bliss, experience of the lightness that you feel, that far excels the experience of the pleasure of the externalities. With this, these people, they are drawn inside. So they see that, and particularly as they grow within that, again, they are. Okay, suffering change exists where? Suffering change exists where? You remember? Raise hands. Yes, Prashant. Huh? Desire. The pile? Wonderful, very precise. Okay, Prashant. Desire realm plus the first 3 form realms. Very good. Okay, so those people who reach that level, the third form realm, then they come to discover that even the mundane happiness, there's some problem there. The problem there is a bait. They very strongly feel that. Then they move to the number 4. number 4, and then higher, formless. So there, the suffering change stopped, and okay, many of us may feel that if the suffering change is not there, then life can be very boring, right? Huh? Like very boring. It was in 1960s when Buddhism started to spread, go to the West. West, particularly those were the hippie eras. Okay, nobody is smiling because you don't know what is hippie era. You're getting it? Okay, which means your young generation. There was once upon a time known as the hippie eras. Okay, how many of you don't know what is hippie era? Raise hands. Be very honest. Pinzola, you know? You don't know. Certainly, you know? You learned it. You have not experienced that. Yes, certainly, you have not experienced that. You learned it. Yes. Madhya? You learned it. Okay, which means your young generation, right? Our generation is the one which experienced that. Hippie eras. Hippie eras. So there, people try to transcend the convention. So what is all convention, right? The boys with short hair, girls with long hair, and then what? All these, they should be like this. And then you go to the office tipped up with the suit. This is all just convention. Why should we follow that? You just break the conventions. There is no hippie, right? Then why? What is it? Charas? What do you call it? Charas, vodka, LSD, and all these things. What's the problem? So there was a hippie era. So those days, McDonald's, between McDonald's and TCV, there was one place known as Sunday Market. This is where the hippies, and then what is that? Waterfall area, and then what is that? Buxwood. Then above that, there's one place. No, Dharamkot, the hippies. Yeah. Okay, those days, not nowadays, right? Don't associate Dharamkot with the hippies. Okay, so that was those days. Why did I say that? Okay. Life can be very boring. Oh, life can be very boring, yes. So, in those years, the 1960s and 1970s, Buddhism then was going to the West. And this was the time, the hippie era, where, okay, I don't want to go into too much. Then a teacher was giving teaching, and there was a time when the television first started to come. So here in India, I don't know where televisions exist, maybe in some places, but otherwise it was just coming out. And there was the first television that I saw was in TC school when I was a little boy. It was a black and white television. That too, today it's not television. It's like right, white and black dots. That is television, right?
Long antenna outside.
Long antenna. I don't care about the antenna. I just see the white and black. What is this? And this is television. You're getting it? Okay. And from distance, I see something like somebody throwing ball like this, right? But close, no ball. It's empty. It's amazing. Okay. So then in the West, in America, particularly in America, maybe television is more high quality color television. It still is this. It's not the plasma. No plasma. Then the teacher was giving teaching. And the teacher talked about becoming enlightened, attaining Buddhahood, and so forth. And then we all have to aim to become Buddha, attain Buddhahood. And one lady raised her hand and said that, "Venerable Sir, I don't want to become Buddha." And the teacher was amused. Why not? And she says, "If I become Buddha, I cannot watch television." You're getting it? So watching television is where, what is that? Serotonin flows or what flows? Dopamine flows or serotonin flows? I don't know. One happy hormone flows, right? So they're thinking that if you become Buddha, then you sit like this, no television, right? No. Okay. So this is our naivety. So whereas when you reach that level of the third form realm, third concentration realm, when you reach that level, then when you go beyond, you see that even the mundane suffering is a lure, is a bait, very strongly one feels, and then because that you feel the what is known as a pliancy. The pliancy, the serviceability, the agility, the lightness of the body, lightness of the mind, way more subtle than the suffering of the change, mundane happiness, way more subtle. Because we don't have the experience, we think that this is everything, suffering, change, the mundane happiness, this is everything. So there's something beyond that. Our mind has that capacity. So those people who are smart, they try to put effort in this direction, and then overall they see that the suffering change is the one which drags us into suffering. Suffering change drags us into suffering. This is very true. Okay, so now we don't have much time. So with this in mind, the Buddha, Acharya Dharmakirti taught that when the Buddha taught this is the truth of suffering, the Buddha meant the third suffering, the pervasive conditioned suffering. Only when we realize that the pervasive conditioned suffering is really the mastermind of all these and really feel aversion to the pervasive conditioned suffering, then your desire to get away from suffering is known as renunciation. Till that point is not really renunciation. Okay, good. So the first three is okay. This is truth of suffering. Then there's to the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering we have to discuss a little bit more. First, let me complete with these 12, the explanation of 12 recitations. Then with the second set, and that is very important. What is the second set? The practice, the set of teaching of the Four Noble Truths pertaining to the practice associated with the Four Noble Truths. So here the Buddha taught, this is the truth of suffering is to be identified. Truth of suffering is to be identified. We have to identify the truth of suffering well. 3 levels of truth of suffering. The first, identify the suffering. Then suffering change. Then pervasive conditioned suffering. Truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned. So for example, last time, who was that who asked me who gave me the advice to fix the pipeline? Who was that? Pamela, yes. Okay, so the truth of the cause, to the cause of suffering is to be abandoned. Meaning that if you don't want the suffering, if you want to abandon the suffering, you have to abandon the cause of suffering. But the cause of suffering is not fixed. No matter what you do to abandon the suffering, it's just all symptomatic treatment. It's not a real treatment of the miseries. For example, like 2009, how many years ago? 2009. 16 years ago. 16 years ago, they say I started to have the pain here on my left ribs, the pain. And I thought that once in a while anybody can have pain anywhere. And I thought this is the pain there. Then it persisted for 3 days. And one night I could not really have sleep. No sleep, pain was quite acute. And then somebody told me that don't take it lightly. You have to go to hospital. Finally, I went, and then it was diagnosed as tuberculosis. Okay. So till that point, I was taking some medication, paracetamol, and so forth to remove the pain. So this all symptomatic treatment is not the real treatment from the root. So only after going to the hospital, the root was identified. It was tuberculosis. It's not just a normal pain, normal fever. It's just there's something deeper than that. So once you identify the deeper cause, cut it, remove it, and then your miseries, the pain will stop altogether. So, in order to cut the miseries, you have to cut the cause of suffering. So the cause of suffering is to be abandoned. Then number 3. Okay, the truth of cessation is to be actualized. So, finally what we want is we want to stop the tears of samsara. We want to stop the tears of samsara. We want to stop all the pains. The pains are so acute. Okay. So, when you go through the pain, so acute. When we see somebody going through the pain and in tears, you feel the pain is so painful. Okay. So, this can be stopped. The Buddha said that this can be stopped. This can be stopped. So you have to put effort to stop that. This can be stopped where you do become totally the fearless. Miseries will become zero. It's 100% possible. Then once you're confident that the root of suffering can be eradicated, and thus the suffering can be stopped, then you are interested how to stop it, how to stop the root. Then comes the number 4. What is that? The truth of the path of the cessation, the truth of path of cessation of suffering is to be meditated upon. You have to practice that. Okay, so this is the teaching of the set of teaching of Four Noble Truths pertaining to the practice associated with the Four Noble Truths. The next is the set of teaching of Four Noble Truths pertaining to the results associated with the practice of the Four Noble Truths. Okay, what is that? Although the truth of suffering is to be identified, there's nothing to be identified. Okay, first I'll explain this part, and the remaining 3 will be easy for us. You can just extend it based on what you understand of the first one. So the third set can be understood on 2 levels. On 2 levels, what is known as conventional level and the ultimate level. Okay. Is there anybody who appreciates paintings? Who appreciates paintings over the year? 1. Okay. There are many who appreciate painting. Okay, amongst those of you who raise your hand, tell me who's crazy after the paintings? Crazy, who really, the paintings. Okay. Your name? Okay, Pangaji, painting, is it your hobby?
It's a hobby as well as profession.
Oh, that's interesting. So we're lucky. And there's another one here. Here, raise hand. Yes. Pierre Chandela. So we have 2. Anyone else who profession or your hobby resents? Hobby and so forth. Okay. So which means how many of you are painting so, not so interesting, resents? So, okay, so look at these people. So these people, if you show my painting and the painting of Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, is it? Whose painting is that? Leonardo da Vinci painting of Mona Lisa and my painting, and those who say so, my painting will be better for them. My painting will be better. Wow, it's so colorful. Leonardo, what is that? Very dull painting like this. Very dull. Because my painting is very colorful. Only these people, Pangaj and the Tinchandela, I don't know, Tinchandela Desaba is there. Otherwise, right, the real painters who are okay, and they will say that there's no comparison. Whose painting is this? Dumb it. There's no comparison with the Mona Lisa's, the Leonardo da Vinci's painting. You're getting it? So we should have the eyes to see that. Now, let's say that same Leonardo da Vinci's painting if you are to look at through electron microscope, you will see the atoms. You're getting it? And would you see the Leonardo da Vinci's painting, Mona Lisa? You will not see that. You're getting it? Okay. So to appreciate this painting, the Mona Lisa painting, you look at from distance or you look at through electron microscope. Hey Pangaji. Hey. To appreciate the Mona Lisa's painting, how would you look at it? With your naked eyes or through electron microscope? Through naked eyes, not through electron microscope. With the electron microscope, you will not see the painting. You're getting it? Okay. So with this in mind, the same, how you look, this is very important. In a way, we need to do 1 or 2 sessions on emptiness. This will be very important, helpful for us. Say, Leonardo da Vinci's painting, does it exist or not? Hey, all of you. What did I say? Leonardo da Vinci's painting, which Mona Lisa, does it exist? What is the answer? Yes, don't forget it. It exists, but it exists in the eyes, in the naked eyes, not through the electron microscope. How many agree with me? Raise your hands. Okay. Through electron microscope, what happens? Leonardo da Mona Lisa painting doesn't make any sense. Raise hands. So, to make sense of Mona Lisa's painting, you have to look at through naked eyes from distance. You're getting it? Not go too close. Too close, this painting doesn't make any sense. Okay, with this mind, our mind, the same object can be seen in from two different ways. Okay, how many of you, when you take the photograph, you don't take the photograph too close, raise hands? You take the photograph a little far away. And then, after taking the photograph, then you filter that. And then you post it. Filter it before you post it. You're getting it? Jimala? Sometimes. Yes. Okay. So why? Why you are not talking too close? Why? Okay, that's nice. Okay. Okay. So it's not my job. It's not my business. You're getting it? Most people do that. They prefer to take from far away, not too close. Right? And if even far away, still after that you have to filter that. Okay. So from distance you see one thing. From close by you see something else. You're getting it? So this is known as discrepancy between the reality. From close by you see the reality. Right? Filter it, you hide the reality, yes? Okay, Quincel. What is meant by filter? To hide the reality. Okay. So so you understand what I'm saying? Say, I think it was in 1980s. 1980s, how many years ago? 1980s. 1980s, let's say 85. 1985 is 40 years. 40 years ago. So in my monastery, in Day4 monastery, the library, in front of the library, there's a small, very small garden, and all the monks go there to take a photograph there. And those days, the monks mainly come from Tibet, and they send the photograph to Tibet. And in Tibet, wow, it's so beautiful. Photograph, what is that? Optical illusion. It's so beautiful, it's amazing. And then the people, they thought that everywhere is like this. And the monks are coming, hundreds, hundreds. They come and they, where's that place? They say, this is place. You're getting it? There's a discrepancy between the appearance and the reality, right? So reality, it's the same object. Same objects seen close by, you see the reality. From distance, you just see the appearance, not the reality. You're getting it? So the same object seen through two ways. For example, like, okay, so here, what is this? Most of us will say this is a jar of water. And if I ask Chuskit, right, she will say this is electrons, protons, neutrons from physics. And is there anybody from chemistry? I think that there's one boy who is doing chemistry, who did chemistry. Raise hand. Okay, it's fine. So same thing we see as water. For some people, this is seen as electrons, protons, neutrons. Okay, which of the two, the perception of which is closer and which is further away? Seeing it as water or seeing it as electrons, protons, neutrons? Which is closer by? Which is the one which sees the object more closely? Which one? The one which sees things as, see the same objects, electrons, protons, neutrons. So we see the same object can be seen by two different perceptions. You getting it? Two different perceptions. So with this in mind, the mind which sees things very closely, is known as ultimate analysis. Let's not forget it. These are the technical terms that we need to learn. The mind which sees things close by is known as ultimate analysis, and the mind which sees things from distance is known as conventional analysis. Conventional analysis. Okay, ultimate analysis and conventional analysis. What they see is they see the same object. They see the same object. Now, on the how many kinds of mind are there? There are so many kinds, but what we discussed just now, how many kinds of mind are there? Two. What are they? Ultimate analysis and conventional analysis. In other words, two analysis, two kinds of mind. So, what we can say, thank you, Dasala, thank you so much. Oops, thank you. That's good. Yeah, I have here. Thank you. Okay. So all minds should necessarily fall under one of these two groups, ultimate analysis or conventional analysis. Now it's going to be a little technical part that I'm going to share with you, and you may not get it at the moment. Just note it down, try to remember what I'm saying, and later on we'll go into more detail. Say the ultimate analysis, let's say that the Ajirji is going to take us for pilgrimage to Mount Kailash. Yes. Okay, so Ajirji has already taken one group. Now we next group. Okay, so there Ajirji wants us that the Mount Kailash there's going to be snow glare. So you have to protect ourselves from the glare. So for that we need to buy goggles. And there are two shops. One where high quality goggles are sold, very high quality goggles. And the other where the goggles is very low quality. The glasses are murky and not clear. So with this, Group A and Group B. Say Group A, high class goggles or the low class goggle? Hey, Group A. Oh, okay. So group B, no choice. Okay. So they say group A with the extremely the high quality crystal clear glasses, and group B with the very murky glasses. There you go, the Ajiji towards there, and then we see the Mount Kailash, and group A says, "Wow, it's so beautiful," and group B says, we thought the Mount Kailash is so beautiful, it's so dirty. You're getting it so dirty. Okay. And then let's say, Geshe Samdullah says that, hey, Florian Dharma Group, we will start a Mount Kailash Clean Project. To start a project to clean up the Mount Kailash. And group A, what are you talking about, Geshe-la? This is already very clean, so clean. Okay, so say group A, so let's say this is Mount Kailash. And group A, you are seeing the same Mount Kailash? Yes. In group B, you are going to say Mount Kailash? Yes. So you are seeing the same object, but seen in two different ways. So, because why the same object is, group A says this is very clean, group B says this is very dirty. What makes the two different, the descriptions? Anyone? Over there, Arunachal? Because of the difference in the goggles. The goggles represent the subject or the object. Hey, goggles represent subject or the object. When it says subject, means subject as opposed to the object. Otherwise, what is the subject? Physics, maths, this is a different story. It's not the subject that I'm talking about. So the subject that I'm talking about is subject as opposed to the object. Your eye consciousness is subject, and I see the flower. Flower is the object. So this is what I meant by the subject object. Okay. So goggles represent the subject or the object? Subject. Okay. So there are two different subjects. Your name? Yes. Sivan Samdullah. Sivan Samdullah is saying is that the same object is perceived in two different ways because of the difference in the quality of the goggles. Okay. So now look, this is very important concept. What group A sees is very clean Mount Kailash. What group B sees is very dirty Mount Kailash. You're getting it? You are describing the same object, or you're describing two different objects. You're describing the same object, but one very positive, one very negative. Now, say, in a loose sense, say the group A, what group A sees, what group A's mind, let's call it ultimate analysis. Group B's mind, we call it conventional analysis. So, now, these two analyses, they are the minds, they are the subjects or the objects. The two analyses, they are the subjects or the objects. These are the subjects. Because they are the subjects, subjects should have the object. For example, say, we look at this flower, you have your eye consciousness as a subject seeing the flower. What's the object? The flower is the object. So with this mind, say the object seen by the ultimate analysis is known as ultimate truth. Now we're talking about the two truths. Object seen by the ultimate analysis is known as ultimate truth. And the object seen by the conventional analysis is known as conventional truth. So these are the two truths. They may repeat it. So because there are two analyses, then you have the respect for objects. Object seen by the ultimate analysis is known as ultimate truth. And the object seen by the conventional analysis is known as the conventional truth. You're getting it? This is very important. Don't forget it. Just mark it there, and later we have to go into this little detail to understand it. Now next, okay. Next. Okay. So group A's mind is what? Which are two analysis? ultimate analysis. What group A sees, the object seen by group A is known as ultimate truth. But the object seen by group B is known as conventional truth. So with this in mind, say the Mount Kailash. Mount Kailash. Now I told the two truths. Now I'm going to talk about the samsara and nirvana. Samsara and nirvana. What group A sees Mount Kailash is what? Very clean Mount Kailash. This is what group A sees. So clean Mount Kailash is nirvana. And group B, what it sees is very dirty Mount Kailash. That is samsara. Dirty Mount Kailash as seen by group B is samsara. Very clean Mount Kailash seen by group A is nirvana. So what group A sees is samsara nirvana. Nirvana, where is it? Mount Kailash here. What group B sees as samsara nirvana. Samsara, where is it? It's the same one. So same Mount Kailash we can see both samsara and nirvana. You're getting it? So it's for this reason that many of the texts, the sutras, the commentaries also, you see the mention of the samsara nirvana as same. This meaning, don't say the samsara is nirvana, nirvana is samsara. Some people, just the reading some of the sutras and so forth, they confidently say that, Nagarjuna said the samsara, nirvana, nirvana, samsara. This is a disaster. You're getting it? What group A sees of Mount Kailash is nirvana. Mount Kailash as seen by group B is samsara. You're getting it? Because Mount Kailash as seen by group B is not seen by group A. Mount Kailash as seen by group A is not seen by group B. You're getting it? So therefore, if samsara is nirvana, nirvana is samsara, then the Mount Kailash, how it is seen by group A should be seen by group B. It's not seen. So therefore, samsara and nirvana, they are talking about the same object, two different perceptions, depending on the purity of your mind, what degree of purity of your mind you have. When your mind is pure, then you see the whole universe as divine. Your mind is impure, you see the whole samsara everywhere. Okay, good. So having said this, what we said is that same object can be seen on two levels, ultimate level and conventional level. You understood it? Same object can be seen on two levels, ultimate level and conventional level. What do you mean by ultimate level? Ultimate level means when you see the object very close by. And what is conventional level? When you see the object from distance. Very good. Okay. Now you remember, if somebody can take me back to from where I digressed. If somebody can take me back to where I digressed. Mathiya?
You were starting to explain the third set of the petition.
The mic.
Geshe, you were starting to explain the third set of the 12 recitation of the Four Noble Truths.
Wonderful. So, Mother, you would have missed that.
Yes. Thank
You
you.
understood what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yes. So only two of us will understand. You will not understand what I'm talking. He understands it. I said you would have missed that. Right? Yes. He understands what I'm saying. Others may wonder, what is that? Okay, let's not digress any further. So, what we're talking about is we are talking about the third set of the teaching on the Four Noble Truths. What is the third set of the Four Noble Truths? Which pertains to the result of the practice associated with the Four Noble Truths. So, where the Buddha taught what? Where the Buddha taught what? Although the truth of suffering is to be identified, there's nothing to be identified. Okay, let me explain this first. So this same line, although the truth of suffering is to be identified, there's nothing to be identified. This same line should be understood on the two different levels, on the conventional level and on the ultimate level. So first, on the conventional level. On the conventional level, say Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhi Swaha. So these are the 5 paths. Say, when you are to attain Buddhahood, Nirvana, whatever, you have to go through these 5 paths. Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhi Swaha. So first one is known as path of accumulation. First Gate is known as path of accumulation. In Tibetan is Tsoglam, and in Ladakhi, Tsogslam. Okay, first one is Tsogslam. In Tibetan, Tsoglam. Number 2 is path of preparation. Jorlam, same. In Tibetan, Ladakhi, Jorlam, path of preparation. The first one is path of accumulation. Second one is path of preparation, Jorlam. Third one is path of seeing. Path of seeing, Tonglam, same. Tonglam. Then fourth is path of meditation. Gate, Paragate is path of seeing. Parasangate is path of meditation. Bodhiswa is Milavlam. Oh, he's saying Milavlam. Path of no more learning, 5. So, say the first 4 are known as the path of the learners. Path of learners, those who learn. Path of learners. And the 5th one is known as path of normal, the path of normal learners or path of normal learning. Okay, so on the conventional level, do you agree with me that the first 4 paths there, you have to put effort to attain nirvana or Buddhahood, whatever you are seeking. So the first 4, you are struggling to attain that. So therefore, you have to identify the suffering. You have to identify the suffering. Once you reach the final stage, which is part of normal learning, then you have already identified the suffering. Your job is done. You don't identify anymore. There's nothing left for you to identify the suffering. Or how many of you understood this? Raise hands. Although the truth of suffering is to be identified, which means on the first 4 path of learners, then there's nothing to be identified. There's nothing to be identified, referring to the path of normal learner. Once you reach the path of normal learner, then you don't have to identify anything. Your job is done. You getting it? Your job is done. Okay, so now is there anybody who can extend or extrapolate the same thing to the second one? Although the truth of suffering, truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned, there is nothing to be abandoned. Anybody who can explain this on the level or on the conventional level? Okay, first let me finish the first one. On the conventional level, I already explained it. On the conventional level, although the truth of suffering is to be identified, meaning on the level of the learners, the first 4 paths, although truth of suffering is to be identified, once you reach the path of normal learning, there's nothing left to be identified. You've already identified everything. Okay, that is on the conventional level. Now on the ultimate level, say, although the truth of suffering is to be identified, which means on the conventional level, truth of suffering can be identified. For example, the Mona Lisa painting, with the conventional analysis, you can enjoy the Mona Lisa painting. With the ultimate analysis, okay, Pangaji, with the ultimate analysis, can you enjoy the Mona Lisa painting? No. Okay, is there anybody who would like to explain why? Why you cannot enjoy the Mona Lisa painting with your ultimate analysis? Anyone? Raise hands. Anyone? The boy over there? Your name? Karma. Yes, Karma. Yes, Karma.
Because we see things closely.
Very good. Because when you go to see things very close, then you start to see the atoms. On the atomic level, the painting of Mona Lisa doesn't make any sense. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Okay, so therefore, painting of the Mona Lisa exists only from distance. Only in the eyes of the ultimate conventional analysis, it does not exist in the eyes of the ultimate analysis. You getting it? So therefore, although the truth of suffering is to be identified, meaning on the conventional level, it can be identified. On the ultimate level, there's nothing to be identified. You getting it? Okay, now my job is done. Now it's your job. Although the truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned, there's nothing to be abandoned. Is there anybody who likes to explain this? Quick, to save time. Quick. Sasha. Yes, Mike, yes.
Yes, Geshe.
Let me put it like this. So of the two, first explain purely from the conventional sense. Mm-hmm. Yes. Then the ultimate sense, I will give it to somebody else.
So it was like about cause of suffering, right?
To the cause of suffering, yes.
Uh-huh. So the cause of suffering is really exist on the conventional level, yes. But if we come closer, like ultimate level, it just doesn't exist.
Very
anymore,
good.
right?
Okay, this is actually the second part.
Yes.
Okay, you explained this the second part. Now, is there anybody who likes to explain the first part? So what Sasha explained is the second part, which means that on the conventional level, suffering of the truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned, but on the ultimate level, there's nothing to be abandoned. Okay, that's fine. Anybody who likes to explain this from the first point of view, purely conventional point of view, anyone? Raise hands. Prosk.
На абсолютном уровне, когда мы находимся на пятом пути, не учение более, несмотря на то, что истину о страдании необходимо познать, нам уже нечего познавать, то есть начиная с пятого пути. Это актуально только для первых 4 путей, когда мы обучаемся. Ну и так со всеми истинами далее.
So now we are doing the second noble truth. Although the truth of cause of suffering is to be abandoned, there is nothing to be abandoned. So although the truth of cause of suffering, we need to identify on the learner's paths. Once we reach the 5th path, the path of no more learning, there is nothing which we need to abandon. So there is no cause of suffering which needs to be abandoned.
Oh, how many agree with Prosk? Raise hands. Very good. That's perfect. Now they're done. So we no need to go for number 3, number 4. You can do their own. But in group discussion, I would suggest you do this one by one. For me, why I'm not doing this all is to save time. Okay. So with this, what we said, the 4 noble truths. The 4 noble truths. The 12 recitations, that's complete now. So with this in mind, having said this, we're talking about the truth of the cause of suffering to be abandoned. So how to abandon the cause of suffering? If you want to abandon this suffering, we have to abandon the cause of suffering. How to abandon the cause of suffering? For this, remember, to know how to abandon the cause of suffering, you need to know how the cause of suffering gives rise to suffering. We need to know the mechanism by which suffering comes into being. If you know this, you will know how to undo that. You agree with me? If you know how it is created, then we'll know how to undo the suffering. So, how the cause of suffering they give rise to the suffering, if you know that, then we'll know how to undo the cause of suffering, so to undo the suffering. So having said this, remember, this is where, for the Buddha, this mantra, which we recite every day, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, this mantra is so precious. And to be very honest, if you read here, in this book, again, we included that the sutra on dependent origination. Sutra. Anybody who likes to tell us which page? This is sutra. included in this book on dependent origination. Okay, so here this is the part when we miss Tenzin Rangdula. We miss Tenzin Rangdula because that she would say this page directly without looking at it. 104. Are you sure? No. No. No.
61. Dependent origination. Noble truth. 61.
Okay, yes, it is 61. Page 61. Page 61. So this book is so precious. It's a compilation of many important sutras and many important compositions by Indian masters, many important the composition by the Tibetan masters. This is so precious. Okay, on page 61, this mantra, you will see where the Buddha taught this mantra and how important is mantra. This mantra is so precious. Okay, now you read it later on. For time being, listen to me. This mantra, in what way this mantra is very important, is to teach us not to follow blindly. This is the main message. Don't follow things blindly. We need to gain conviction in the efficacy of the cause and effect. Cause and effect. For example, like Albert Einstein and his contemporary Niels Bohr. Niels Bohr was talking about quantum mechanics, and Albert Einstein was talking about relativity theory. And Albert Einstein, who also contributed to some aspects of the quantum physics. Now, two of them, they disagree on one point. Niels Bohr, Heisenberg, and the quantum physicists, they talk about randomness. They talk about the concept of randomness. And Albert Einstein is totally against that. So what he said is that there's no room for randomness. God does not play dice. This is a famous expression, the famous statement which the Albert Einstein made. God doesn't play dice. It doesn't mean that he accepts God. But the message behind this is that there's no room for randomness. There's no room for randomness. Everything is operating based on the principle of cause and effect, physical law of cause and effect. Physical law. Of course, Albert Einstein did not include the mind. But everything must operate based on cause and effect. For him, cause and effect means purely physical cause and effect. But the Buddha is exactly this is what Buddha taught. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from the causes. And what the causes are is taught by the Tathagata. Particularly the cause with respect to the miseries, the suffering that we go through, the tears that we are shedding. What are the causes? These are taught by the Tathagata, by the Buddha. Okay, so the next says that this is where this mantra is so precious for us to gain conviction in the cause and effect. In cause and effect, if you learn about the cause and effect relationship in this life and gain conviction, very strong, deep conviction in this life, then next life people talk about blind faith. Okay, you are sick. Then they put a red flag on the on the roof. Then your sickness will go away. So, say somebody's going through, let's say, tuberculosis, suffering from tuberculosis. And then, you put a red flag there, and then they would do something, to throw something in the east direction, and so forth. Then your tuberculosis go away. And then meanwhile, tuberculosis will become more and more chronic, and then it kills you. You're getting it? You throw away, and the sick person also thrown away. Dead. Whereas, straight go to the hospital. You go to His Holiness. right? Many lamas says, oh, you have to do this, oh, don't go to hospital, don't go to hospital, do this puja, that puja. And then who is the highest lama? His Holiness, go to His Holiness. His Holiness never said do this puja, do this. His Holiness said go to hospital. You're getting it? This is so important. This is where we need to gain conviction in the efficacy of the cause and effect, operation the whole world based on the cause and effect principle. So one time, one early morning, I think about like 6 o'clock, one lady called me and she said, Geshe-la, I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, it's okay. And she said, I'm serious, Geshe-la, I'm very serious. I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, it's okay. So there she is trying to provoke me to let me ask her why. So I said, why? She said, okay, so she was relieved. She wanted to give the reason why she doesn't want to follow Buddhism. Then she said that because that last 3 years I've been praying to Buddha, I've been praying to Aratara, praying to Buddha, Aratara, and my prayers are never answered. I said, what prayer did you do? She said that, I want my brother to get a job, and he never got a job the last 3 years. I prayed to Buddha, I prayed to Tara, it never happened. I'm not going to quit Buddhism. I said that, I see, now I know the reason why you become a Buddhist. Say, if you are hungry, don't become Buddhist, go to kitchen. If you are hungry, don't become Buddhist, go to kitchen. If you are sick, don't become Buddhist, go to hospital. If you want your brother to get a job, don't become a Buddhist. Tell your brother, don't go to nightclubs. Don't go to pubs. Don't go to nightclubs. Study. Prepare for the UPS exam well. Crack the exams and get the decent job. You're going to become the secretary of the, principal secretary of the different ministries. So, don't become Buddhist. To get you to tell your brother, study well, don't go to the pubs. So this is a cause and effect. Where, but your brother is in the pubs all the time. In the pubs all the time, nightclubs all the time, and then you're praying to Buddha, and then what can the Buddha do? So therefore, don't become Buddhist. Tell your brother, if he's serious, then you have to tell him to study well, crack the exams, and get a decent job. So this is where we don't have the sense of conviction in the cause and effect. We believe in something else. We plant the bitter gourd seed and we expect delicious mangoes to grow. You're getting it? This is where we're going wrong. So therefore, the thing is that the Buddha taught, Ye dharma hetu prabhava, hetum tesham tathagato hyevatat, tesham jayo nirodha evam vadima shramanaya swaha. So, with this mantra, recite this mantra every day and try to gain conviction, deeper conviction. And there's the law of cause and effect, law of karma, law of cause and effect. And then in your next lives, no danger to fall into blind faith. As a little boy, little girl, you will not be happy to hear your parents talking about blind faith, right? And I remember I was just 5 years old. My father later on was telling me that my mother, when she was going through acute physical problem, physical pain, like, possessed by the spirits. Actually, it's not a possession of spirits, and they think it's possession of spirits. So, then my father was telling me that how they try to solve the problem by kneading the dough, and the dough makes, and then some mantras and throw it somewhere. What is this? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Actually, it was not it says that they're saying that my mother passed away because there was another lady there who was interested in my father. So this lady possessed my mother. person's mother, and then the person's mother, and finally this lady said, my mom, and talking that I'm not going to let the woman survive today. Meaning that she's going to kill my mom. My mother was talking, and they're saying that is that lady who has possessed my mother and talking. And then later, when I grew older, when I was in my maybe like 22, 23, I said that this is stupid. And they were even trying to go. They went there to that lady's house to fight with this lady. I said that why are you troubling somebody who is totally blameless? Totally baseless, you accusing somebody and torturing that person. It's a problem of the child labor's problem. My mother was giving birth to twins, and there's no medical facilities. And because of this, she was going through all these pains. And in pain, you can say anything. She became hysterical. She became, insane. And why are you blaming this person? Why are you torturing this other lady? Why? I was telling them very strongly that this is totally baseless. It's wrong on our part. This abuse. How can you prove that the other lady is here? It's because it's our failure to take care of my mom. It's the failure of the medical facilities, no medical facilities. So therefore they could not do anything. And they blamed that other lady. It's so unwise. So this is superstitious. This is where this cause and effect is totally, denied or defied. This is totally unacceptable. This is where your conviction cause and effect is not there. Just planting, say, planting the bitter gourd seed and expecting mangoes to grow. This is where blaming the bitter gourd seed when the mangoes don't grow. When the mangoes grow very small or sour mango, then the bitter gourd seed, you blame the bitter gourd seed. It has nothing to do with bitter gourd. These two are very different. Okay, so this is where we need to have the conviction law of cause and effect. So reciting this mantra more every day, contemplating meaning, your confidence in the cause and effect relationship will go deeper, deeper, and deeper. Okay, so having said this, now that the next is, although the cause of suffering is to be, hey, Mathia, to be abandoned, although the cause of suffering, okay, what? The truth of the cause of suffering is to be abandoned, right? Abandoned. How to abandon the truth of the cause of suffering? To abandon the suffering. So for this, the Buddha taught, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. All these phenomena are some causes, and the cessational causes is also taught by the Tathagata, by the great seer. Now, what are the causes of the miseries which the Buddha taught? This was clearly explained by Arya-Nagarjuna. Arya-Nagarjuna, where the Arya-Nagarjuna uttered one verse. One verse is in Tibetan is Ledonyumo Sebetar, Ledonyumo Namdole, Tedatu Litobani Tombani Gabajur. Stombani Gabajur. Yes. Okay, so this verse in English is ceasing of karma's afflictions is nirvana. Karma's afflictions arise from elaboration of from conceptualization of inappropriate attention, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance, and the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, is there anybody who likes to help me to show me where this verse is? 116, 116, 116, huh? Okay, 116 is the original source, and then you find the same verse in other places also in this book. But the one which Andrew identified, 116, this is the original source, this main source. Okay, you will find the same verse in the sections of the same book, But this is the original source where Aranyakacharan taught. So verse number 5. Verse number 5, page 116. Okay, there's a little bit of translation in the editing required. Let me read this. Ceasing of karma's afflictions is nirvana rather than leads to nirvana. Is nirvana. Okay, so we are expecting the final book, edited book, coming out. Okay, I'm tired of saying this. I've been saying this for the last 20 years. I'm tired. Okay, so this must be heard by the editor, right? There's the editor somewhere in India. The editor should know that. Okay, right? So the Professor Venerable Professor Tinsu will inform the editor. Geshe said he's tired of saying this all the time, right? Okay, ceasing of karma's afflictions is nirvana. Karma's afflictions arise from conceptual thought, if possible, put in bracket. Karma's afflictions arise from conceptual thought of inappropriate attention. Just add this word, inappropriate attention in bracket. Karma's afflictions arise from conceptual thought of inappropriate attention, and these referring to the conceptual thoughts. If possible, to this, karma's afflictions arise from conceptual thoughts. Make it plural, so that it goes well with the next line. Make it plural. Conceptual thoughts of inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attention in bracket, and then the third line, these meaning these conceptual thoughts arise from mental elaborations of grasping into existence. And the elaboration cease, this is all the English grammar mistakes. Elaborations cease, or elaboration ceases. Okay. Just make the whatever required. Elaborations cease by or into emptiness. Okay, let's quickly explain this verse and then we'll stop here for the morning session, the first morning session. Okay, so this verse identifies 5 points. We need to know the 5 points. Okay, first, ceasing of karma's afflictions is nirvana. What is the opposite of nirvana? What is the opposite of nirvana? Samsara. Number 1 is samsara. Immediate cause of samsara is contaminated karmas. Contaminated karmas. Immediate cause of samsara is contaminated karmas. Then the immediate cause of contaminated karmas is afflictions. Okay, look. So from there, in fact, we are being trained to do for the causes. You getting it? Okay, let me repeat it. Ceasing karma's afflictions is nirvana. Opposite of nirvana is samsara. Point number 1, samsara. Samsara. The immediate cause of samsara is contaminated karmas. Now, contaminated karmas arise from what? Immediate cause of contaminated karmas is affliction. So here the affliction refers to the gross afflictions. If possible, write it, gross afflictions. Immediate cause of the afflictions immediate cause of karma is afflictions, particularly gross afflictions. To be more precise, gross afflictions. Okay, samsara, immediate cause of samsara is contaminated karmas. Immediate cause of contaminated karmas is gross afflictions. Immediate cause of gross afflictions is inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attention, and you want to make it full, write it full. Conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Conceptualization, conceptual thought is same. Conceptualization of inappropriate attention. And the immediate cause of the inappropriate attention is self-grasping ignorance. Elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Okay, now let me repeat it. Okay. Ceasing karma's afflictions is nirvana. Opposite nirvana is samsara. Point number one, samsara. What's the immediate cause of samsara? Contaminant karmas. What's the immediate cause of contaminant karmas? Gross afflictions. What's the immediate cause of gross afflictions? Inappropriate attention or conceptualization of inappropriate attention. To make it simple, inappropriate attention. What's the immediate cause of inappropriate attention? Self-grasping ignorance. To make it full, elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Very good. Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions? No questions? Huh? Huh? Okay. So if I ask question, then don't expect answer. You know the rule? Sashi, you know the rule? Yes. If I ask a question, so I was asking you any question, you said no, later. Now I'll ask question now. Sergey, right? Don't expect answer from me. What is the cause of these? We ask the question, the cause of the first, samsara. We ask the cause of karma. We ask the cause of the afflictions. We ask the cause of the inappropriate attention. We did not ask the cause of this self-grasping ignorance. You're getting it? We have to track the causes. And we stopped at the ignorance and we stopped there. You're getting it? What's the cause of that ignorance? Don't expect answer from me. Right? I asked it. Okay, good. Now let me explain this. This is very if we understand this one verse well, then you will feel such a joy to see how your emotions work, to see how others' emotions work. It's amazing. Once you know how the emotions work, then you will learn how to undo the destructive emotions. And then you are free. The tears of samsara stops. It's so beautiful, so precious. I remember in the earlier days, His Holiness the Dalai oftentimes starts his teaching with this verse. Then he explains the meanings. So this is how we benefit a lot from that. Okay, to understand this, let me give you one example. Okay. Let's say that the Carl, you're in Dharamsala. And this girl, what is this girl, your name? Nordunla. Nordunla is where you studying? That you are in Delhi. Not in Deer Park, you're in Delhi. You are in Delhi, right? And the boy there? Delhi. Your name? Tashila. Okay, Tashila from Delhi, in Delhi. The boy here? Ugyana in Delhi. Oh, interesting. Delhi group came. Florindama, Delhi group. From Chandigarh. Raise your hands from Chandigarh. Chandigarh 1, Chandigarh 2, Chandigarh 3, Jammu. From Jammu. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Delhi. Wow. Okay. So how come the Delhi is more? Jimala, very biased. Are you sure? Okay. You gave the list of the Delhi people first to Geshe Samdul first? Okay, I'm joking. Oh yes, that I've noticed, 3 of them. From Kerala, 3 reasons. But they're not from Kerala, they're from Delhi also. Look, very biased. Look. Okay, this morning we practice, what is that? Equanimity. Right, Jimala doesn't know equanimity. Okay, good. Okay, let's say that Mathia from Switzerland. Okay, you are in Switzerland. So each one of us, we're in our respective places. We're in our respective places. You're not in Deer Park. You're getting it? And you fall asleep. You fall asleep, and you dream of being in Deer Park, attend a class. Okay, you dream of being in Delhi, attending a class. And in the class, okay, Geshe mobile. So, in the class, I showed this to you. What is this? A dream mobile. You're dreaming. It's a dream mobile. Right? I showed this. And you look at it very carefully. And you sit there, oh, there is a Geshe has a brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. Right? Geshe has a brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. And then each one of you said, oh, I heard that Geshe is kind. Then you say, hey Geshe, can we have a mobile exchange? And this boy is very happy. What's your name? Jigmela. Jigmela is very happy. Right? Okay. Geshe, can we have mobile exchange? Right? And then the girl Jigme, Florence Dharma, the Delhi chapter boss, she said, no, I already told Geshe. I already told, before Geshe entered, I already told Geshe that he promised to change the mobile with mine, right? And then Jigmala, the Florence Dharma Delhi chapter boss, and each one of you have a fist fight. Right? Fist fight, and then prison. End up into prison. Okay. And then your mom calls the office. Usually I get a phone call from my sister, from my daughter, from my son. Now there's no phone cabinet. What's happened? Then in the office, Pravinji said that I'm very sorry, unfortunately your daughter and your son, they're in the prison. Why prison? They went for Bodhicitta retreat. Why prison? Right? And the poor mother comes to the prison. Then asks you, what happened? Right? Why you in prison? You went to Deer Park, to Bodhicitta retreat, not to prison. Why you in prison? And then you said that. Why you end up in prison? Why? Hey, tell me. Because of the because of fist fight. Anyone else? Because of mobile. Mobile you have. So anybody who has mobile go to jail? No. Fist fight. Right? Only when you have the attachment to the mobile, even if the attachment to the mobile, you will not go to prison. Only when fist fight happens, then go to prison. And the mother is surprised. You are a very gentle girl, you are a very gentle boy. Why did you fight? Why fist fight? Why? Hey, this girl, tell me. Louder. Because I feel like it, because I'm angry towards this boy, this girl. Because why do you feel angry towards this boy, this girl? Why? Because we are competing for the same mobile. Right? Same mobile. Why mobile? You also have a mobile, I give a mobile. Mom, you do not understand that mobile. Mom, you gave me is iPhone 6. What Geshe has this brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max, right? It's very different mode. You don't know that. And then mother asks you, are you sure it's iPhone 17 mobile, iPhone 17 Pro Max? Are you sure that is, or this is just a dream mobile? Right? Okay, this is a dream mobile. Okay, now tell me, why do you enter prison? Prison is a good place or bad place? Bad place, that is samsara. That's a metaphor for samsara. Why you end up in samsara? Because of the fist fight. Fist fight is karma. Karma. Why do you fist fight? Because of the attachment to the mobile and aversion to your competitor. So that is the emotions, afflictions. So fist fight karma is because of the afflictions of attachment to the mobile and aversion to your competitor. The afflictions. Why affliction? Because of seeing the mobile as so different mobile, very expensive mobile, exaggerated. This is known as the inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attention of seeing the mobile as something very different. And I'll explain this little later. And are you sure this iPhone 17 Pro Max? Are you sure? Then this is because in the first place you see the dream mobile as a real mobile. You getting it? You see the dream mobile as a real mobile. So, okay, now let's go back sequentially. So you end up in prison because of the fist fight, karma. Fist fight because of the affliction, attachment to mobile, and anger to your competitor. And why attachment to mobile? Because the mobile is a very special mobile. That is inappropriate attention. Why do you say this? You see as mobile is very special. The ground is that believing the dream mobile as a real mobile. That is elaboration. You getting it? Now let me quickly explain. I know that you are a little confused between the elaboration and the inappropriate attention. What is the difference between these two things? Okay. First, let's say the dream mobile. Is there something as a mobile there? Is there something as a mobile there from the object? There's no mobile there from the object. It's purely coming from your mind. And then you create from nowhere, mentally you create a dream mobile as a real mobile. Actually, it's coming from the mind, nothing from the object. But you deceptively see as a mobile. That is they say the, what is that? Exaggeration of the object. Exaggeration of the object, number one. Then the next is exaggeration of the qualities of the object. There are two things. Exaggeration of the object is known as elaboration. Exaggeration of the object, where there's no mobile, you exaggerate the mobile. That is the elaboration. Then, what is exaggerated is the object, you exaggerate the qualities of the object. That this mobile is brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. You exaggerate the qualities of the object. Exaggerating the qualities of the object is the inappropriate attention. So, you say that, okay, I have a flower. Flower is the object. Then you say that this flower is a very expensive flower, a very beautiful flower. You are exaggerating qualities. Or you say this flower is so bad flower. This flower is a very bad flower. Again, it's exaggerating the qualities. So, exaggerating the object and exaggerating the qualities of the object. Exaggerating the object is known as elaboration, and particularly the elaboration in the form of self-grasping ignorance. Exaggerating the qualities of the object is known as inappropriate attention. You getting it? Okay, now tell me, so since that you know how you end up into prison, how you know how you end up into the dream prison, now you want to get away from the dream prison. How to get away from the dream prison? Why did you, okay, prison is like samsara. Why did you, if you don't want to be in prison, what should you not have done?
No fist fight.
You should not have fought, no karma. If you did not want to have engaged in the karma, what should you not have done? No attachment, no bile, and no aversion to the competitor, no afflictions, gross afflictions. If you don't want to have the affliction, what should you not have done? You should not have exaggerated the qualities of the mobile. If you do not want to exaggerate the qualities of the mobile, what should you not have done? You should not have exaggerated the object as a mobile. If you don't want to exaggerate the presence of the mobile there, what should you have done? If you don't want to exaggerate the object, what should you not have done? Or what should you be doing not to exaggerate the object? Anyone, just raise your hands. Just raise your hands. Your name? Divansh. Okay, tell me. If you don't want to exaggerate the object, what should you have done?
Ultimate analysis and look at the phone as if it's in a more objective way instead of as a dream, and do ultimate analysis to.
Okay, engage the ultimate analysis.
Yeah.
Thank you, Divansh. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, Chizum. Chizum, raise your hand so that the mic will come to you.
Not to see mobile as a dream mobile. Not to see dream mobile as a real mobile.
What should you do? How not to see that? You're right, you're correct. Speak. How not to see that? How not to see the dream mobile as a real mobile? How? What should you do?
To wake up.
Wake up, yes. Okay, right. Not necessarily ultimate analysis. But it's right, what Divan says is correct. Then the question, how to wake up? Ultimate analysis. Right? Very good. Divan says correct. Thank you. Chansomra, thank you. Okay. So how will you now understand the sequence? How you end up in the dream, how you end up into the prison, raise hands. And because you know how to end up into the prison, you know how to undo going to prison. How to undo that? Raise hands. What's the ultimate answer to undo going to the dream prison? Madhya. Wow. Okay, to come out of the come out of the dream, you have to realize emptiness. That's amazing. So which means everybody has realized emptiness. They all came out of the dream. Madhya. Okay, this is not my question. That comes second. Okay, anyone else? Finally, what is the answer? If you don't want to end up in a dream samsara, dream prison, what should you do? Yes. Okay, ultimate analysis. Okay, very good. Okay, yes.
Надо избавиться от привязанности.
We need to get rid of attachment.
Okay, we need to get rid of attachment. How? Okay, this is Ramala. I said how? How to get rid of attachment? Yes.
Перестроить свое мышление.
We need to change our thinking. We need to transform our thinking.
Wonderful, thank you. Tons of thinking. Very good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, Yelena.
Для этого нам нужно перестать верить в ошибочное восприятие, которое преувеличивает сам объект.
For that, we need to stop believing in the inappropriate attention.
Okay, we have to stop believing in. Okay, how to stop that? Over there, yes.
А можно вопрос повторить?
Venerable Geshe, can you kindly repeat the question?
Why did you raise hand?
I have an answer, but I have to make sure.
Okay, so the question is, finally, if you don't want to suffer in the dream, if you don't want to suffer in dream prison, what should you do? Finally.
Мне кажется, что чтобы освободиться от тюрьмы, надо сначала понять, что мы в тюрьме. А для этого, убедиться, что мы в самсаре находимся, а для этого идентифицировать все виды страдания.
To get rid of prison, first we need to understand that we are currently in the prison of samsara, and we also need to, for that we also need to identify the three types of suffering.
Okay, thank you. Finally, Mr. Pangaji. Okay. Meditation what? Okay. Anyone else who likes to? Okay, Jigmela. Okay, first Jigmela and then here. Jigmela here and then the Maxim.
By stop elaborating and to understand, now that we have understood the actual effect, so we need to focus on the cause to understand the cause and effect in a better way.
Go to understand the cause in a better way, and then the final, what should we do?
To stop the elaboration and
To stop the elaboration. What do you mean
the
elaboration?
desire. Yes, Geshe?
What is the elaboration?
Whatever the object we are facing, like the desire, and we have to stop exaggerating and we have to stop elaboration, the object, the which we have perceiving.
So what is the elaboration?
Elaboration.
Okay, Maxim.
Ангишла, я считаю, что нужно пресечь цепляние за самосущее существование путем его постижения, путем постижения отсутствия самосущего существования, отсечь цепляние за «я», за самость.
Venerable Geshe, I think that we need to stop self-grasping ignorance by means of understanding emptiness of intrinsic existence.
Okay, so this is the what Mathia and Maxim, they come to the same point with respect to the actual meaning. Metaphorically speaking, what should we be doing if we don't want to be in the what is that? The dream prison? What should we be doing? Yes. Okay, how do you renounce suffering? How? How to renounce suffering?
By following the path to Buddhahood.
Which path?
All the 5 paths.
All the 5 paths. How?
Progress.
Okay, good.
Practicing meditation. Following the
practicing. Yes. Okay. Anybody who would be okay. So Dorjila. I hope Dorjila you will give the last stamp, the seal. To say the wow.
No, Geshe. Please repeat the question.
If you don't want to be in the dream, some dream prison, what we said, fight over the mobile and so forth, dream prison, finally what should we do in order to get away from the dream prison?
Abstain from that things, not to see that things. Be happy with what you have.
Okay, Samdullah.
To not end up in the prison. They shouldn't fight.
Okay, finally, my word is not just how not to get into the prison. You don't fight. Okay, but finally, what should we do? Finally, to really be freed from this the dream prison. Prosk.
Sir.
The boy here, yes? Okay, the Prosk. The Prosk. Because we want to now close this session.
Мы должны избавиться от неведения, понять, что мы находимся во сне.
We need to get rid of ignorance, and we need to understand, which means that we need to understand that we are dreaming.
How do you understand the way dreaming? Prosk.
Развив мудрость, увидев реальность такой, какая она есть.
By means of cultivating the wisdom and by means of seeing the reality as it is.
Wow. So some of you have seen the reality. Everybody, you are woken up. I'm talking about the dream. I'm not talking about the main point. So what postcard is correct? What stress is correct? But actually, Chinzomla already gave the answer. So, yes. Your name?
I'm Dmitry.
Dmitry.
Yes.
Dmitry.
Yes, Dmitry from
Dmitry,
Russia.
yes.
I think this gate para sam gate bodhisvaha.
You're right, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, good. Okay, good. Good, thank you. Okay. Okay, so gate is slowly wake up from the sleep, right? So Chinzama said, wake up, and your dream, everything will stop. Right? You will not exaggerate the mobile. You will not exaggerate the quality of the mobile. You will not feel attached to the mobile. You will not feel competitive with Jigmela. Then you will not have fist fight with Jigmela. Then you will not enter into prison. This is how we are liberated. Very good. Okay, we'll stop here. Shenge meto dege bonjom serge lembo tabo jebe go shage gebo kela Jazalom Monim Ma Swaha Monim Mahamonaya Swaha Monim Mahamonaya Swaha Mahamonaya Swaha Monim Mahamonaya Swaha Monim Mahamonaya Swaha. Three prostrations together.